One of the first slave ships that brought black people to the New World was named Jesus. White Christians used Bible verses and Bible stories to justify slavery. There was a time when white Christians wouldn't baptize black people because they weren't sure if it was okay to enslave Christians. They quickly changed their theology, baptized their black slaves, and forthrightly sent them back to the fields to work. 4, both black and white prosperity preachers have scammed millions of dollars from faithful black parishioners living in American slums. 5, it is an undeniable fact that Christianity has been a tool of oppression for black people all throughout the world. And yet today, black Americans identify as Christians at a staggering 79%, higher than any other group in this country. So the question is, why are black people still Christians? And while we're at it, I actually think there's a more pressing, more existential question that needs an answer. Does God hate black people? In nearly every country, on every continent around the world, darker-skinned people are treated poorly. By nearly every measurable standard, so-called black people are at the bottom of the social hierarchy everywhere.
After God chose us as a holy people, what happened to us? We decided we wanted to be like the other nations, and so God did something to us. Read Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, that thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God promised us that if we didn't keep his commandments and his laws, which the majority of us don't keep today, there's a small remnant of us keeping his holy statutes, his laws, his commandments. Most of us don't do that. So he said that if we didn't do that, we would receive curses.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Crushing Christian Views. We're going to get right into it. There's a lot going on out there every day. But what bugs us is how our people never considered anything. What was happening before slavery? Where do we go from here? How do we get out of this situation that we're in? But a lot of our people don't know we're in a situation because as an individual, they have a new car, they moved into a condo, they own a HUD house. It's always, nobody's holding me back. Look what I'm doing. These same people will tell you that they're people of God. Well, God expects us to move as one unit, as a nation of people. Arabs move as a nation of people, and they're very successful as a nation of people. The so-called Jewish man, they move as a nation of people. They're very successful. Chinese people, Japanese people, Italians, everybody. We're the only people that don't move as a nation of people. And as individuals, we brag about some things that we have. So we're going to go into the scripture. I'm going to read something to you. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1. And even God is telling us we never consider anything. For example, the Chinese people, all the Chinese people in this country, in the United States, they still have their names. The so-called Africans, they still have their names. The Italians, the Irish, everyone still have their names. We're the only ones that have names like Robinson, Williams, Johnson, Jackson, all these names that we got from the oppressor. We're the only ones who still have these names. None of the other people carry their oppressor's names. If there's someone in America that's Chinese or Arabic, and he has a name like Don Jackson, it's because he named himself. No one named him that at birth. He had his own name. Let's read verse 3.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner,
Mm-hmm.
and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know, my people do not consider.
So Israel, which is who we are, we don't consider who we are. Read that one more time.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
The ox knoweth his owner,
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ox is a big dumb animal.
and the ass his master's crib.
And the donkey knows his master's crib.
But Israel does not know, my people do not consider.
We don't consider who we are. And that's why we have all these issues here in America. We're going to get to the other part of why we have all these issues in a minute. Matter of fact, go to Deuteronomy chapter 1. Deuteronomy chapter 1. Brothers and sisters, we have all these issues here in America, and we do not consider, we don't consider who we are, what language we used to speak before we came over here, what type of foods did we eat before we came over here. We don't consider any of that stuff. The only thing we think about is who's got the bag, who we're going to sleep with, and all this other garbage that we should be bugged out about. We should be bugged out about who are we really? Where do we come from? Read that, Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness.
In the wilderness, because when Moses led our people out of Egypt, out of bondage, the first time we went into the wilderness. Go ahead.
In the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel
Mm-hmm.
and Laban and Hazeroth and Gizad.
So the point is, Moses is in the wilderness with the Israelites, with Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. Read verse 6. Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art a holy people.
For thou art a holy people. He's talking to the same people we just read about in Deuteronomy 1 and 1, the Israelites who he led out of Egypt, out of bondage. Go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So this is why we, as blacks and Latinos, this is why we have unique talents that the rest of the world doesn't have, because God chose us as a holy people. But what happened after God chose us as a holy people? Deuteronomy 28, we're going to read verse 15. After God chose us as a holy people, what happened to us? We decided we wanted to be like the other nations, and so God did something to us. Read Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God promised us that if we didn't keep his commandments and his laws, which the majority of us don't keep today, there's a small remnant of us keeping his holy statutes, his laws, his commandments. Most of us don't do that. So he said that if we didn't do that, we would receive curses. So look, we're going to go through some of the curses.
And that's only for Israel, right?
That's only for Israel. And the rest of the nations, the heathens, this was not given to them. This is only given to Israel. Read verse 16.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Who's cursed in the city, folks? Any city you go to, especially here in America, what group of people are cursed? What group of people are harassed by the police in every major city? What group of people get shot down every day in major cities? Read that again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who was cursed in the field? Who was picking cotton in the field? Was it the white man? No. Was it the Arabic man? No. It was our people. We were cursed in the field. Let's go to verse 19.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
So whether we're coming or going, we're cursed. We're a cursed people. Just look at what goes on in our relationships with one another. All right, let's go to verse 21.
Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
So this is still in the realm of where Moses is talking about possessing the land after they came out of Egypt. Let's go to verse 23.
Verse 23. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
The heaven that is over our heads shall be brass, and the earth under us shall be as iron. So, if something is over you and it's brass, can you go any further than where that brass is? No. We are stuck and stagnant as a people. Of course, I said again, individuals, you make a little money and you forget about the rest of your people, but you can't rise above your own people. We're gonna get to that too in a minute. Let's go to verse 27.
Verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch whereof thou canst not be healed.
Okay, read that again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed.
And whereof thou canst not be healed. That's why many of us have all kinds of sexual transmitted diseases and infections now, and we can't be healed. Because once the herpes jump on you, can you get rid of it? Now, there was a doctor who, one of our people who they killed some years ago, Dr. Sebi, he had remedies for many of the things that we have today as a people. And that's why they killed him, because we're not supposed to be healed. Read that one more time.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed.
Whereof thou canst not be healed. Cannot be healed. All right, let's go to verse 29.
Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
And thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore.
And no man shall save thee.
And no man shall save us. Because we need Christ to save us. Who's the oppressed? Is it the Chinese? Is it the Arabs? Is it the Hawaiians? Are they oppressed? No, we're oppressed. Verse 30.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
We got married during slavery, and slave masters would lie with our wives. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
We built houses during slavery, and we didn't live in those homes that we built. Go ahead.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
You hear that, folks? Let's go to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Our sons and our daughters were given to another people. Who are those other people? It was Esau, the Edomites. Our sons and daughters were given to them. Go ahead.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Because we won't have any power to get our kids back. We're in slavery. Go ahead.
And and there shall be no might in thy hand.
Again, no power. Let's go to verse. So many verses in here we can cover, but let's go to verse 36.
Verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
And so the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. What are those other gods? Well, the wood represents the Renaissance Jesus, Caesar Borgia, the fake Jesus. That's what the wood represents. And the stone represents Islam. So you have the wood, which represents Christianity. That's why there's so many wooden crosses everywhere. And you have the stone, the cobblestone, which represents Islam. The two biggest religions on the earth are the religions that our people gravitate to. Read that one more time, D.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Christianity and Islam. Christianity represents the wood god. That's with the wooden cross. And the stone represents the cobblestone of Islam. That's where they be bowing, kissing that stone over in Mecca. Okay, let's go with,
You gotta read verse 41.
read verse 41.
All right, Christians, I want y'all to explain this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
You understand that, Christians? We had sons and daughters that they took out of our arms and took them into captivity, took them into slavery.
I didn't even know this verse was in here.
Read it again, D.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
They shall go into captivity, our sons and daughters. This is not talking about the people who call themselves Jewish. This is not talking about them. Our sons and daughters went into captivity, okay? Verse 43 is a good one too.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Who's the stranger within us that has gotten very high and we're down low? The Arabs, they own all the gas stations.
And the crunchy chickens.
And the crunchy chickens. They don't even eat fried chicken. I know, I've lived with them. You have the Asians own all the cleaners. You have the Jewish guy own all the pawn shops. You have the Albanians own the Coney Islands. Read that again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse
43.
43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
All these nations, different nations of people who own all the businesses where we live, they got above us very high.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And we're at the bottom, brothers and sisters, and Black and Latino Christians. We're at the bottom. I don't give a damn if you got your own new car and your condo. As a people, we're at the bottom. That's why we still have their names and not our own names. All right, let's go to verse 44.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee.
He shall lend to thee. He shall lend to us.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
We don't have banks to lend to them.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
We're the tail, he's the head. The Jewish man owns all the banks. There was a point in time in history where we had banks. They even make Hollywood movies about that. Black people had banks. What you think happened to them? They burnt them down. before the 1920s. They burned our black banks down. Read that one more time, D.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 44. He shall lend to thee.
The Jewish man shall lend to us, even though it's hard for us to get a loan from him. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not lend to him.
And we can't lend to him because we don't own the banks.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
And we're the tail. Okay. Let's go to verse 48.
Okay.
Well, no, what was you going to say?
You want to read 45?
Go to 45.
All right. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Until we be destroyed. These curses shall overtake us until we be destroyed. We're destroyed now. Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
We don't keep the commandments and the statutes. That's what we put in practice here. That's what a lot of Israelites, men and women, put in practice today, but there aren't enough of us putting it in practice. That's why we're still in this hellhole. Once we get a certain number of us, the Bible says 1/3 in this country, then we'll be taken out of this oppression. So that's what we're being patient for. We're patiently waiting to be taken out of this oppression.
48.
Yeah, let's go to 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So we're going to serve our enemies in hunger, meaning we have to go to them for food.
And in thirst.
We have to also go to them for water or whatever kind of drinks we like.
And in nakedness.
We have to go to them for clothes. We don't own the textile companies. We could have owned our own textile companies, but they burned all our stuff down before the 1920s. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
Everything we want. You want to, whatever you want. You want to go buy a car, you better believe they own the dealerships. Whatever you want to go buy new shoestrings for your shoes, the white man makes the shoestrings. Or the Chinese man, whatever. You're not making the shoestrings. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Who had a yoke of iron on their neck during slavery? We'll have to show y'all some of those photos just to remind you. We had that yoke of iron around our necks. Go
You
ahead.
got some people that say, what about the Holocaust?
They didn't have any yoke of iron around their necks in the Holocaust. They were gathered up and put on trains and taken to another land. They didn't come with no yokes of iron around their neck in slave ships. That happened to us. Read that over again, dude.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
We had yokes of iron around our necks until they considered we were destroyed enough to take the yokes of iron off our necks. But even when they took the yokes of iron off of our necks, they put in place laws like loitering laws, jaywalking laws. Jaywalking because they observed at the end of slavery that when a black man crossed the road, we would cross at an angle. They observed that, so they put in jaywalking laws, loitering laws so that we can't gather together, trespassing laws so they can just say, oh, you shouldn't be at that property, throw you in jail. That's what the 13th Amendment is all about. It says there's no slavery or involuntary servitude except for crimes of punishment. Well, who are they always accusing of crimes? Us, the so-called Black and Latino man. All right, go ahead, dude.
Verse 49.
Okay.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle flieth. And that same eagle has us in captivity today. Right?
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because they spoke English and we spoke Hebrew. We didn't know English. We didn't know English. We knew Hebrew. In fact, there's a popular guy, Edomite, named Glenn Beck, used to work for Fox News years ago. He has his own podcast. Glenn Beck was fired at Fox News after he came out and proved that the Native Americans' original language was Hebrew. You can do the research yourself, Black and Latino Christians. All right, go ahead, D.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
They don't show favor to the old or young now when they pull us over. When the police pull us over, they'll pull the father out of the car and shoot him in front of his children. There is no favor to the old or the young. Go ahead, D.
Verse 51. He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Yeah, so God is going to pluck some of us out of, when we go into the second wilderness, by the way, God is going to pluck some of us. The whole 1/3 is not going into the kingdom of heaven. He's actually purposefully, the Lord is, bringing some of us into the second wilderness just to show us his power and then throw us in the lake of fire. Everybody's not getting into the kingdom. The 1/3 is getting delivered out of Hellfire America, but they're not all going into the kingdom. So let's see. Let's go to
Verse 68.
let's read 65 first.
Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
See, among these nations, we don't find ease. There's always injustice going on us, whether it's here in America, it's the UK, Haiti, wherever we are, we can't find any rest. We can't find any relaxation. There's always injustice against God's people. Go ahead.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
We have a sorrow of mind. I know I do. I have a sorrow of mind. And don't think it's got something to do with being rich or not being rich, because I've heard of some famous Black celebrities say that they consider moving out of America because they're sick of the overt racism and the struggle. Some of them not saying it, but they're also sick of just seeing the struggle of their people, knowing they can't never make enough money to help their people. Never. They'll never make enough money as an individual to help their own people. So they have what this scripture says, sorrow of mind. I have sorrow of mind. I want this to be over. We all do. We want to go into the kingdom and live the type of lives God meant for us to live, not in captivity like we're here in America. Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
You hear that? The Lord shall bring us into Egypt again with ships. If you read Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, it tells you Egypt is synonymous with bondage. This is also talking about spiritual Egypt, which is mentioned in Revelation 11 verse 8. Okay, go ahead, D.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
We won't see our land no more again once we go into bondage again. We're still here in bondage. Are we seeing our land? No, we're still here in bondage, here in America. Spiritual Egypt. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, for bond men and bond women.
Slave men and slave women.
No man shall buy you.
Because no man shall save us. That's what that means. No one's going to buy us out of slavery. We're still here 400 plus years later. We're still here. So we're waiting on the Lord to take us out. So brothers and sisters, there's one thing I wanted to read. This is the verse we missed, brothers and sisters, I think.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So these curses That was the part we missed. The curses shall be upon us for a sign. So when you're on the street and you don't know the name, you don't know the street, if there's a sign up there, that's the only way you would know where you are. It's just like a restaurant. You don't know the restaurant unless there's a sign on the restaurant. Read that again, D.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. They shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Because we would see this for a long time. For a long time, we would know we're the people of these curses because God gave us a sign to know that. So on that note, anything? I got anything? Yeah, so we just wanted to go over this Deuteronomy 28, which is a very popular subject in the Israelite community, because we have to keep reminding brothers and sisters that we're the ones in captivity. We're the only ones of a different race of people who don't have our own names. Our names are not Johnson, Jackson, Robinson, Williams, none of these names. Daniels. None of these names are our names. Our names are Hebrew names. And we're waiting for God to come back to give us back our name, and to give us back our proper diet, and to give us back everything that they took from us during slavery. So on that note, brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Like,
comment, and subscribe.
Yep, like, comment, and subscribe.
Donate to the Cash App.
Donate to the Cash App so that we can continue to spread this. And on that note, we want to say shalom, and we'll see you again.
Follow your TikTok at Shake the Prophet.
Oh, follow? Really? Okay. Follow us on TikTok at Shake the Prophet. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.